All right, so here we are, the very last of the single Avengers movies. Captain America, the first Avenger. Um, where should I start on this? I was one of the people in the on the side of man, he's been in two Marvel movies. He's been a Human Torch and he's been Captain America. And people were giving Ryan Reynolds crap for being Deadpool and being Green Lantern. Now that was one thing because it was a DC and a Marvel character. He played two different companies' characters. But Chris Evans, he played Captain America and Human Torch. But I just have to say this is probably my favorite movie out of the Avengers. I think this one, and man, it's really really close. I like all of them a lot. A lot. They're all right up next to each other, but I'd probably have to say Iron Man 1, Captain America. Iron Man 2, Thor. The Incredible Hulk. And that's really, I might even say, I could even say Captain America, Iron Man 2, Thor, Hulk, or I could say Iron Man 1, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man 2, Hulk. All of any of those work out with me in my order. So I really can't tell you, but I really like this one, and I think what I really like about this particular Avengers movie is how this takes place in a completely different era through the entire movie. And if you're not a comic book fan like me, which spoilers, he gets frozen and then he ends up coming back in our time. But if you're not a comic book fan, you don't know. And so you're saying, if this guy's going to be part of the Avengers, is he like the dad of Captain America or something? Why is he in World War II era? And I remember, like, my mom, she didn't ask that exact question, but she said, how are they going to get him to be with the Avengers if he's that old? And I didn't say anything, but then at the end there's a whole. I think there was one time I saw this in theaters in the audience, I could kind of hear just like this overall just like when he's waking up and he's saying this isn't the right year and stuff. And then he appears in Times Square. But I don't know. The thing I like about this one, though, is how it is set in a different era. I really like... I'm a big World War II fan. Not saying I wanted it to happen, but saying historically I think it's a very interesting subject. And I'm a big fan of The Rocketeer, which I think the same guy directed this who directed Rocketeer. I might be wrong on that, but I really like that movie, and it didn't get as much recognition as it deserved. And this feels kind of like that, and I just love the whole feel of that era where everybody was on the side of war. Everybody was on good guys were Americans, bad guys were Germans and Japanese. But not saying that's technically correct. I'm just saying that's the feel of it, and everybody was so everybody's so into it and ready to do whatever they can to make this country win in this war. And so the ideals of the American people at that time was completely different than it is now. And so, I think, everybody says I'm kind of the Captain America of my friends group, which, when you have a big friends group, everybody every now and then says, if this was, in this movie, who would be the characters out of our friends group? And we did that one time with the Avengers, and they called me the Captain America of our friends group. But I think I really like Captain America for the fact that he's a guy that is so he's woken up in this world that has seen a lot since he's been technically alive. Vietnam War, 9/11, many things. A man walked on the moon. He technically died before the atomic bomb. Like. There's all these things. So, seeing that play through and him, dealing with all this stuff, he's really, he really does a great job in this role. And I'd have to say, I never once, remembered him as being, Human Torch. I never, thought, oh, he's just playing the same character, because his character is completely different in this as he was Human Torch. And frankly, it was better, and he was acting a lot better in this than he was in Fantastic Four. But, I love, he really knows how to, play this whole, guy that is lost in time. That's, if you woke up, tomorrow, and it's been, 70 or 80 years since you've, actually been awake, how would you feel like if hearing about all these things that have happened so quickly, and it's how can you believing you're still alive, and all these people that you're so close to are dead now, like having to take that in, it's very traumatic. And he really knows how to deal with that in this and in the Avengers. So yeah, I mean, it's I love all the characters. I love, this is the one story that I really dig the origin of, Captain America, how, he's a super soldier serum, which, plays into the Hulk, where, how eventually they kind of try to mimic that with the Hulk, not necessarily the same way, but, try to, research it more. And that's kind of how Hulk comes around. And so that's really interesting. And, how he's, he's been gone for so long, but now that he's back, he's automatically in a leadership position. That's kind of cool. But, yeah, I could watch this movie over and over and over, and I could talk a really long time about it, about things that most people probably wouldn't care about. But, yeah, this one is great. This one actually got me the most excited for the Avengers, not just because they had the whole trailer at the end, but just, seeing this, he's finally filled in that last piece of the puzzle, and he actually has the most information, I believe, out of... Well, he doesn't really, but, he made me feel, like I'm ready now. I mean, he's kind of let's open the door to this new movie that'll be coming out, and we're here now. This is what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's what I feel about, Captain America.